Another Takan vault.
I don't see a way in.
The vault in the mines was already open.
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless.
Rest assured, the Federation is taking this threat very seriously. You won't be alone out there for too long.
Thank you, Captain Riker.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clear picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
I'm here.
The Elydians are preparing to attack Hatari.
Status report.
Systems are now fully powered. All torpedo tubes open.
They're preparing to fire!
We should hail the Elydian flagship, Captain.
Readying phasers if you want them.
Stand by. Await my order. That was unpleasant. Commander Ermont, what are the conditions of our systems?
All internal systems operational.
We need to act quickly.
Maneuver the Resolute underneath their warships. Block their shots at the planet's surface.
Clever. Shields at maximum, Mr. Ermont. You heard the commander.
Aye, Captain.
They'll think twice about firing on a Federation ship.
Lydians. They've powered down their weapons.
Odd. You sure about that, Mr. Ermont?
They're venting some kind of gas from their ship. Hold on. Now all of their systems have shut down.
That's unexpected. Captain's log, stardate 57931.4.
All decks secure. We have the bioformed on board, fully contained.
The Starfleet ships under Takan control have signaled their surrender. Good work, Captain Rydick. Next time I need some backup, I'll know who to call.
But there are pressing matters we must attend to before any of that. What are you doing?
Hold on, Jimmy.
Commander, we read you, but there's too much interference. Transporters still can't get a lock.
Miranda was able to transport through the storm. There has to be some path through that we're not seeing.
Tetrametric radiation is saturating our sensors. There is too much interference to pick up the residual transporter signature.
Wait. Tetrametric radiation. Of course. I can align the transporter with the tetrametric signature. The crystals emit tetrametric pulses every 3.8422 seconds, roughly 26 centihertz. All of this is connected. The storm, the warp-killing field, the crystals, Miranda's alien transporter tech. Okay, I've got the transporter in calibration. There are a lot of biosigns in that mine, all stacked on top of each other. I need something to identify the commander signal. Something loud, energetic.
Understood. Commander Rydick, we have penetrated the storm's interference, but we are unable to pinpoint your signature. We need you to generate a high-energy event to help us...
High-energy event. Got it. Tylus, are you still with me? I am. Good. I'm going to shoot my phaser at some dilithium to cause a piezoelectric rupture.
What? Why?
Signal flow.
5.
This is unbelievable.
That's it?
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
One more thing. Ambassador Spock said that Takan stole some data from your central computer. What's that all about?
We're still assessing the extent of the breach. Nothing to report as of right now.
Engineering.
I heard the new EXO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good.
Starfleet has granted me the privilege of conferring this upon you. Though I'm sure Captain Solano would rather have been the one offering this.
Set course for the Usonia system. Maximum warp. It's time to face Galvin.
Yes, Commander. Sorry. Captain. On your command.
Engage. One thing we know is that they stole Starfleet shield algorithms.
The shield algorithms? That could jeopardize every ship in the fleet.
We're still making sure our assessment is accurate. We don't want to raise alarms unnecessarily.
This is as real as it gets, Solano. I have to talk to Starfleet Command now, so I think this conversation has come to an end. I really do hope you get Portal 6-3 and find those Takan before this gets out of control. Riker out.
Where are you? Prep your way, team. We don't know if Portal 6-3 will cooperate. He's not an asset. He's an enemy. So be ready for anything.
Is it me, or did that path just disappear?
There was a path there a moment ago.
There must be an explanation.
Tetrametric pulses.
Same energy as the other Takan technology.
Most of the crystals appear dormant. What's different about this one?
Readings indicate there's a cavity in the rock right behind it.
We could try melting a hole through the wall with our phasers.
Worth a try.
There's gotta be a weakness. Somewhere it isn't totally solid. Whoa!
An illusion.
I'm sure that wall was as real as the rest of them. I felt it.
It's almost like our holodeck technology, but far more advanced.
The crystals must be absorbing the energy from our phasers.
I'm picking up something. A biosignature. It's faint, but it's there.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
All hands on deck.
Oh, what's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovok said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out, and the brass know it.
You gotta have some faith, Nilly. Starfleet Command wouldn't send us out if we weren't ready.
6 months ago, I probably would have said the same thing. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa. Excuse me.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Prove you're worth keeping alive for a little while longer.
I cannot stop this ship any more than you could stop the tides.
Hey, Carter?
Nilly.
I thought you'd want to know we made it. And that you'll always be my family. You'll never really be gone.
Always, Nilly. Family. Forever.
Always.
Maintain our position. No telling what they're up to.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
There's an energy dampening field coming from the Tau moon.
Take us out of range.
Aye, Captain.
Captain, flagship is hailing us.
On screen.
Zeldy to the Starship Resolute. Our main power cores are completely disabled. The more power we give, the more it takes. Running off batteries. Life support systems have failed. Unable to ventilate. Contaminated atmosphere.
Admiral, you are about to launch an attack on a defenseless planet.
Kobliat, you supported us in the negotiations. We need your help again now. Please, I beg of you. You must render assistance.
The radiation. We won't last much longer in here. Please, we surrender. We need your help. Please, people support your ship.
Captain, I must remind you that when an enemy is surrendered, it is our duty to render aid.
I've got their biosigns isolated.
Commander, we have your signal.
I'm gonna tunnel a path through the ionic interference. I've got a path. Just gotta calibrate the signal. I've got a lock.
Energize.
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa!
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls.
Let's go.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily.
Just a sip of something. Decisions, decisions. Coffee.
perfect temperature. Don't know how they do it.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the Academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. My only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
You can spare me the pomp and circumstance. There's plenty of work to be done without all that.
You always had a work ethic like nothing I'd ever seen. That's just what this ship needs at the moment. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage.
I assume you mean the accident.
That's right. The tragic accident, really. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified.
Who is the senior diplomat we're escorting?
That I don't know. Starfleet hasn't said.
The burdens of command.
Considering this is new information Ambassador Spock doesn't have yet, I figured Captain Riker would be the closest to communicate directly with Starfleet Command.
Now the cat's out of the bag. I have to think about the damage control of it all. You're dismissed. Captain's log, stardate 57931.4.
Under the circumstances, it will be dangerous for us to close distance and stage an evacuation.
Dangerous, but not impossible. Admiral, excuse us while we devise a rescue plan.
By my estimate, the crew only have 23 minutes before their atmospheric mix becomes lethal.
While we may not be able to transport the Elydians directly, if we were to transport them from their ship to a nearby shuttlecraft, it should be possible to amplify the transporter signal there and reroute it to the Resolute.
The Ambassador's plan is incomplete. An away team will have to beam aboard the Zeldi and set up pattern enhancers for a stable enough signal out of the dampening field.
Thank you for identifying my deficiency, Commander Chovak.
Jara, I need a senior officer in command of this. Take Chovak and Bedrosian in the shuttle. Get it done.
With me.
Another dead end.
Or another illusion.
Crewman LaRue, if you would.
Deval to Resolute. Beam crewman LaRue directly to medical.
Is he okay?
He'll live.
Not all crystals work the same, it seems.
Don't fire your phasers at any crystals unless we're sure they're putting out the same pulses as before.
My first order of business will be to help reestablish the Hotari government and resume peace talks, genuine talks, with the Illidians.
And after that?
Who knows? I know I don't want to be queen. There's so much good I could do with just a fraction of your medical technology if I could bring it to my people. But I also want to see what else is out there. Maybe there's even a place for me in Starfleet.
When you're ready, Starfleet will be waiting for you. I'll even put in a good word at the Academy.
Thank you. Perhaps I can serve on one of your ships someday.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
But there are pressing matters we must attend to before any of that. I can't thank you enough for all you've done. I'll see you again.
Starfleet has granted me the privilege of conferring this upon you. Though I'm sure Captain Solano would rather have been the one offering this. You have acted dutifully and bravely through trying circumstances. I grant you the official rank of Captain. I believe a great many wonders lie ahead for you, Jara Rydick. There appears to be nothing that can stand in your way.
Thank you, Ambassador Spock, for everything.
It is you who stopped the spread of the Takan. I should be the one giving thanks.
Victory. Peace. These things never come without a cost. For some, it requires putting aside centuries of enmity. For others, it takes facing complicated losses.
To Carter. How do you say goodbye to someone who isn't really gone? I thought I knew how to leave the past behind, but I've learned a thing or two.
And for too many, they had to pay the ultimate price. In time, history may forget their sacrifices, but those of us who were there never will. Now, all hands honor the dead. Engage. Space, the final frontier. As we take our next steps into the unknown, the greatest insights that lie ahead are what we learn about each other. We might even surprise ourselves. And no matter what threats we may come upon, or mysteries we face, we will not be shaken. We are stronger together. We are steadfast in our purpose. We are resolute.
Petty Officer Diaz.
We're losing her.
The pattern is degrading. Can you hold the signal?
I'm trying. I got it. Come on, come on. Yes!
Get her to sickbay.
Captain Solano and Ambassador Spock have just returned from Hotari.
Take a look at that.
Rydick, I need you on the bridge, now. Before this spirals out of control.
Hail the Illidians. Maybe we could talk some sense into them.
Hail them.
No response.
Try it again.
Still nothing.
Commander Ermont, scan them again. We have to be sure.
No mistaking it. They're dead in the water.
What's happening?
There's an energy dampening field coming from Tau.
Take us out of range.
Aye, Captain.
Captain, the flagship is hailing us.
On screen.
Zeldy to the Starship Resolute.
We'll help you.
Yes, we will.
Thank you.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edselar, you will be part of the rescue mission. As will I. We will bring the shuttle within transporter range of the Zeldy, then beam you both aboard.
Beam us on board. Why?
The pattern enhancers must be placed on the Zeldy to make it possible to beam the Illidians back to the Resolute. Gather the pattern enhancers and get to the docking bay.
We're going on the wrong mission.
Oh, what's that?
We're going to rescue the Illidians, the people that oppressed the Hotari, when we should be going to rescue Miranda. This thing that's happened to Miranda is like the Trill symbiosis joining, only worse. And I've seen too many people I care about wiped away by some greater entity to stand by while the same thing happens to her.
It won't be easy. She's gonna fight us every step of the way. We've seen that.
Remember, it's not her that's fighting us.
I know. But right now, we've got other lives to save.
Yeah.
The away team is ready.
Resolute to Shuttlecraft Melville. You're cleared for takeoff.
Acknowledged, Resolute. Melville taking off.
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe. This is far enough. Transporting the first probe into position. Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem?
I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydick. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. But on the other, she did listen to my advice and used the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa. All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there. With 2 points of data, the Resolute and the probe, we've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there. Here, this is close enough. Stop the engines. Deploying the probe. Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Here's the readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and the probes.
All this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually. Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally.
Why would they be doing this? We came here to help these people. And now we're getting hit by some warp-killing weapon?
Now, look here. It's current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations... they line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger. Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Elydians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship.
I don't know why the Hotari wanted us here, but it wasn't to negotiate.
Clearly, peace is not their intention.
Then what is? Why go through this charade?
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us?
She doesn't like the way Galvin and Sidron have been manipulating the situation. And the Queen. Working with us to go around them isn't the same as betraying her people.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here? Only to make this hostile maneuver against us.
I don't think the Elydians know what's really down on that moon either.
Given their indifference to the negotiations, and what we now know about this warp-disrupting weapon, it's almost as if they want to start a war. And Sidron was convinced the only thing the Elydians respect is force.
I would say he's right about that. But at least they know when to hold back.
But that does not explain why they would turn their aggressions against us.
Major Arminta said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harnessed the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Elydians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that it does not happen again.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes, Commander Chovak.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Captain's log, stardate 57931.
You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves. And you were one of those people once. Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Koblead, because of what you've overcome. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. That's very kind of you to say. I'm happy to be here. The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the sys.
Great. Let's fix that emitter. Every time we're out here, you'll have to spend a year in pieces again.
Still got some scars on her. It ends here.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was to fly out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machine. Don't you want more than that?
Now, what are you complaining about? We got the best seat in the house out here. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years to get out to the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere. See a new world. Look up in the sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Zephyr suit today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Beginning recalibration. Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer.
In my entire career, it's never been an issue, or caused the slightest problem. And I don't expect this to be any different.
I was just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound. On stream.
Tracing its trajectory. Starbase docking clamps are holding. The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting. Putting sensor visualization on stream. With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection. I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shield. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat, so we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me. The Georgian, get those shields up. Rerouting power to shield. Stand by. I need a head-in. We've only got one shot. Understood. On my command. Heading locked. Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Tell us what you need.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port in the cell plasma regulator.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that it's really an up, but, you know. We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuit?
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
What if the discharge is collapsed?
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser. We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
And now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle, we have little time before it causes an overload in the engine.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral. EPS lines for the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzle, show up.
a lot of debris coming down. All vibrating, too. We just finished the ECS regulation under this condition. Twins advised.
We have to release this ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working? What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hearing us. Put them through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest
people
way.
on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Anderson, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking craft and repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
It's Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order.
Yes, sir. Disengaging the clamps.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. The captain made himself quite clear. Reverse the polarity.
What? You just said you disengaged the clamp.
Captain, I have to do this. Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Ryder. Be advised, we are going to reverse whole polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
Grab my hand! How's that?
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edstelar there to access the interior.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.